Some of the challenges that most hinder a leader's effectiveness commonly go unspoken, preventing them from achieving their full potential. The next keynote shares some hard truths while unlocking the secrets of what it takes to become an engaged and informative leader. Please welcome best-selling author, tech investor, and founder of the Forbes-recognized recruitment firm Creative Niche, Mandy Gilbert.
Thank you. Oh, I've got fans. Hi, guys. Hey, thanks for coming. I'm really happy to have you here. I know there's a lot going on in your lives, and there's a lot of great speakers this year at Elevate, so I appreciate you being here with me, and I've got a lot to deliver on with that introduction. So we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? So here's the thing. We end up with employees because we're great at something, whether it's sales, product management. Doesn't matter. We get promoted because we're great. Or we start businesses, right? And we're that small, lucky percentage, so fortunate that we launch and we get to hire. We've got employees, right? And we think, hey, we got it. We got it. I've had bosses. I know. I've read books. I was a captain of my hockey team. This is going to come naturally. I'll figure it out. Got employees, let's go. Wrong. Wrong. So wrong. In fact, research shows us only 10% of us are born with natural leadership skills. 10%. Another 20% with basic managerial qualities. That's right, guys, look around. 70% of us, I'm in it, that's why I'm here. We weren't born with it. It wasn't natural for us. And you know how we learn how to become better leaders? If we don't take action and develop our leadership skills and our desire to have self-awareness through failing. And we just keep failing, and we keep failing, and we keep failing. And I mean big, painful fails, like losing great employees, being overlooked for promotion, can't deliver on your divisional goals for your organization. Or for founders, it means they stall out. They stall out because they're having to always drop down, try to scramble, hire somebody, train them, do sales. And they're never spending time on their business. They're just so in it. They're so in it. And there's challenges on the corporate side. 77% of organizations are saying, hey, we're seeing a huge leadership gap. It's a concern. Yet only 5% of corporations have comprehensive leadership development programs. Yeah, sure, you might have an educational fund or an executive fund, send your top people, but comprehensive, full for your future leaders, your new leaders, and your established leaders. And on the founder side, don't even get me started as a founder. I know this all true to be true. And I've done a ton of research on entrepreneurs. They're fascinating. And they do carry the weight of the world. They do. But guess what? Fact is that 30% of entrepreneurs only have a high school education. 10% a business degree. And you are 300% more likely to start a business if you have ADD. I mean real ADD. And here's a fact. 80% of the population is not diagnosed, and the statistic today is 40% of entrepreneurs have ADD. I have it, and it gives you so many gifts, but it also represents a ton of challenges when it comes to leading teams, managing, scaling, any kind of consistency. Listen, I was 27 when I took the leap to start my own creative recruitment company. I went and got a line of credit, and I was pumped. I qualified for $8,000, and that was my startup capital, and I never really looked back. And I was so excited. I was exhilarated. I love the opportunity to dig in and create something for myself. And I was so good. I was so good. For 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. In fact, at 5 years, We had grown to 5 million. I had a team. We had a beautiful office. But I knew deep down inside something was wrong. Something was wrong. My employees did not seem engaged, and they didn't seem happy to be there. And I'm going to tell you what, I sometimes had to sit in my car and listen to a couple rap songs to get pumped up to walk into the office myself. And I didn't know what to do, so I went online. And I heard about this program through Entrepreneurs Organization, and I just registered for this crazy Leadership Institute program. It was like really intensive leadership development in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And I loved it. You know, a few months later, I was there in class. I mean, I was already a great leader, right? I was just there to get brushed up and learn a little bit, get some inspiration, take your notes, and I'll never forget on day 2, they said, hey, listen, here's some binders. And we interviewed a lot of your staff, and I remembered, oh yeah, when I registered, I had to give about 15 names. And here's your binder, here's your assessment that you took, and these are your results. And in the back 2 tabs, there's good feedback and there's bad feedback, right? So what do you think everybody did? Do you think we were interested in the assessment? The good feedback? No. And I'm going to tell you what, they know their stuff. They scrub that. They scrub that data. They scrub that feedback, because you've got bad leaders in here, and you're giving them feedback. You're serving them a little self-awareness. They scrubbed it. You couldn't identify where it was coming from, that's for sure. So I look back there, and things like control freak, trust issues, my favorite, passive aggressive, starts new things all the time, doesn't finish them and forgets about them, constantly changing my job. They must have liked my personality, because when I read that, I thought, oh, thanks for staying, guys. Thanks. So it was at that point in time, after I felt sorry for myself for a minute, I was overwhelmed with gratitude. And I realized that my business needed to be put under new management. And I needed to be that new management. And if you're sitting here right now and you're like, oh, that's such a nice story and you're kind of funny, but I'm good, my team loves me, we have our Uber Eats virtual lunches, and I'm so great at my job, I'm always teaching them, right? I'm good. I want to share with you some behaviors that might be kind of presenting themselves based on how you're feeling and who you're speaking to within your company and your team. The bestie. Hey, you can't do your stuff? That's okay, I'll do it. You need more time? It's okay. No feedback. The busy executive. I am busy, I'm important. I just brushed shoulders with this person in Dublin last week on stage, and I'm amazing, and you're not important. This is my favorite one, and it's my favorite one in tech. I'm going to fly over and float down and solve all of your problems that you cannot handle, because I'm the best. Thank goodness I knew about it and I was available. So, yeah, that creates confusion, not really great in the confidence department, correct? This one also can be a little bit prevalent in tech. I've seen it, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to get fired up here for a minute, because the bully is the worst. And some people believe the only way you can scale a company and drive performance is through fear-based leadership. Some people intentionally try to behave this way to drive performance. You're 0 to 0, right? Public shaming and blaming. And if any of you in the audience are working for somebody like this, give them the feedback, and if they don't get help, get out. This negatively impacts mental health, confidence, capabilities, you name it. It's so toxic and hurtful. And if you're honest with yourself and like how you might be showing up like this sometimes, I want you to know being a leader is a privilege and a responsibility. And you need to get stuff sorted so you don't show up like this, because it ruins lives, and it can ruin careers. And hey, if you don't want to do it for those reasons, I want to talk to you from a business perspective. It's no surprise when we look at these numbers. 70% of employee engagement, hinges on effective management, right? Teams that are engaged, 21% more profitable. And employees who feel their voice is heard. How sad is that? Just heard. 4.6 times more likely to be empowered to do their best work possible. Right? So I want to share a couple of things. I want to talk about our multi-generational workforce. And it's great, right? It's great. I love it. You've got your boomers. Your boomers just loyal. Don't ask a lot of questions because that's not how they were raised. I'm a Gen Xer, by the way, same way. In fact, Gen X, most unparented generation, and some people go as far as saying neglected. Neglected. I can relate. That's another story. Listen. Right. Gen Xers they're just happy to have a place. Like, oh, you like me? Oh, I'm contributing. Great. I love it. The boomers and the Gen Xers had babies, and we had our beautiful millennials, and I love millennials, and I'm so tired of hearing bad things about them because I freaking love them. I think they're great, and if you don't like them, you better wrap your brain around it because they're 35% of our workforce today, with Gen Z catching up, also big fan. But they're going to be 75% of our workforce in 7 years. And we know the millennials love these things, right? Skill development, they want to understand what does success look like for them? What's their purpose? How is what I'm doing connected with the vision, with our organizational goals? I want boundaries, I want flexibility, I would like to have some balance. So my number one share is understand what millennials want and lead for them. Design your companies around them, your communication rhythms, feedback, clarity on how they're doing and how they can be more successful. What's the next step for them? And you know why? It's not just because they're going to be the majority of our workforce, because we all want to be treated like millennials, don't we? Come on, that's a dream. Wow. So that's number one. Number two, work on yourself. Work on yourself. You know what I learned when I was in North Carolina? I learned that your leadership style is directly connected to how you were feeling when you were a child. You got to unpack some stuff. You can't be two people. You're one person. You got to understand what is showing up. I want to be self-aware. I want to understand. I want to be better. I don't want anybody in my life leaving feeling horrible about themselves, personal or professional. And you can really only do that by getting really serious about feedback. And I mean safe feedback. Like asking for it, not just giving it. Asking for feedback. Hey, how was I in that meeting? I was feeling a little bit, energy changed. Was there anything I could have done better? Or how many of you have ever asked an employee, hey, fire away, I want to know. What are some areas that I can improve? Just sock it to me. And this is safe. This will never come back. And I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to receive it as a gift because it is a gift. Self-awareness is such a gift. So all that wrapped up, I want to share some of my most profound leadership insights that kind of like were really impactful for me. Because when in doubt, always lead by example. It's the most powerful thing you can do as a leader is leading by example. You want more energy in the office? Have more energy. You want more proactivity? Share with the team how you're being proactive. Demonstrate it. You want to come up with better ideas? Why don't you come up with some? It is the most impactful, and it's free. You can go back and do it today. Guarantee you, let me know in a few weeks hey, this is really good. Hey, you cannot sell buy-in, and a lot of people do it. Hey, so they have a half-baked idea, they go and they just pitch it. So this is what we're going to do. It's great, right? I'm your boss. And you're like, yeah, it's great, right? You like my idea? I mean, what do you think people are going to say? If you want buy-in, you need to have a two-way exchange. And you're the leader, and you're going to make tough decisions that are not going to be popular. They're going to be tough, and that's your job. And that's okay. But if you want buy-in, it's got to be a two-way exchange. And this is very basic, as most things in life, right? Want to lose weight? Exercise. Stop eating, whatever. You will only be as successful as you can effectively delegate, and that means trusting your team. Hiring great people and trusting your team. Letting them fail. Letting them grow will allow you to fail and grow and work on your own professional development. And I talked about earlier as like working on yourself, but I want to talk about founders that might not be the best leaders today. It's okay. You know, it's tough. Founders have a lot of stress, a lot of worry. I get it. But you know, at Creative Niche, we work with a lot of tech companies, we work with a lot of founders, and I have a soft spot for them. So I end up coaching them and chatting with them. And I can tell you, we've seen some really great things of people coming around. Improving their employer brand, like nobody wanted to work there. They made investments, they did the work, they fired a couple bad toxic leaders. They're leading by example. You can turn it around. It is never, never too late. And the last one I want to really land on was for me, I got these confused. I thought they were the same. I thought they were the same. But being respected as a leader is so much more important than being liked. Are you consistent? Are you showing up? Are you fair? Do you lead by example? Do you walk the talk? Do you acknowledge people? Are you thoughtful? That is the most important, is being respected, not feared, but respected by your team. Not just your boss, not just your investor, everyone in your company. And as I close, I just want to share with you that whether you are a future leader, you're an executive, or a founder, having the willingness to put your ego aside and understand your insecurities and how they're showing up and doing the hard work, I guarantee you is going to be the best investment you'll ever make in your career, and some people would say life. And the world needs great leaders. Great leaders. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.